I really love trees. So let's build some. Now, for this tree, I spent a lot of time just kind of building up all of the leaves and trying to figure out really how his style works and how Bdubs does his stuff. And I think I've got it almost down. Now, you'll notice that I did kind of had a moment where I screwed up and made the leaves too big, but I did go in and fix that, so that is pretty good. About 4 or 5 different types of trees. There are tiny trees, which all fall under tiny category. There's literally no difference between tiny and thin or tiny wide. There's no difference. You'll hear what I'm talking about here in a second. But there are also another category under that, which is technically, I don't consider these trees, but if you're making a forest and you want to have like a bunch of like smaller trees, just take a little bit down, mix in some dark oak there, not oak, and kind of make things like that throughout the forest, but obviously not on the same level as this tree, and push it back a little bit so that it creates the illusion, which is super important. But that is also technically considered a tiny tree, but tiny trees are very easy to build. For a tiny tree, all you need to do, take a tough wall for spruce trees, and you go up about this high, or however high you want it to be, and then you start with spruce, and you just kind of dart it around. So we're gonna do it like this, you know, just dart it around. Make sure to leave some holes in it, because this is very bad. If you do this right here, and then do the next one, this is horrible. Oh, does not look good. So do it like this, and see, it's starting to get that like random pattern. You can't really tell what it is. And then now, what I like to do is take up the spruce up by a little bit, just like that one little block there. And then we mix in the birch leaves, and now these are going to be kind of hard to dart in. Now, I will say I'm not the best at these types of trees, but they're all kind of very, very, very similar. They're hard to make. But then you just kind of do this with it, you know, dart it around. And you're gonna be like very ununison with this. You see, you don't want that right there, because that doesn't look good. It looks like it covers nothing. But you'll see, and start to see, we're going to then switch to azalea for a top leaf, and you're gonna see that suddenly everything kind of pulls together and pulls up towards this top piece, which then we will use spruce fence up here. Now, technically speaking, I will say doing either of these is perfectly fine, but you see, I just made a smaller version of this tree. So that is all you need to do for these types of trees. Tiny trees are easy. They don't always look the best because they are in the tiny format, so like this does look really bad to me. You guys might think it's good, or you might think it's absolute trash. I think it's trash, personally. But that's just one of the ways to do it. Moving on, we have our small trees. Now, these trees are more of the standard, but they are a lot smaller in the sense that they can be built insanely easily and insanely fast. What I consider a big tree aren't even those trees over there. Those are medium-sized trees. Bigger trees would be like tall trees, like probably go up to there. You'll see. But I will not be doing a tall tree in this video. A big tree they're a lot harder to do, but it's just the medium size, just bigger. So anyways, your first blocks you're going to need to make the medium size here. These are going to be more like buffed out and more looking out and all this. You're going to need to take this, go up 2 or however many you want. I always choose a random number and go up from there. You're going to need acacia log and go up 1, 2, 3, 4. And then let's take out some tuff. You might be like, well, tuff is not wood. Get over it. It looks better. It's just superior, so get over it. So then you're going to go 1, 2, 3, and let's just do 1, 2, and then we're going to go this, and then we're going to jump right back into this, go up 3 for this, and then go here, do 2, and then we're going to tie it together here. See, so this is a very, very, very good looking tree trunk. This is what you're going for. Because as you will start to see, it really, really will tie together. So we always start with spruce on the bottom. You're going to take out your spruce sheptors and just put like 2 random. Like, it doesn't matter where. Like, I'm putting 1 right there. 1 like right there, I guess. Yeah, see, like completely random. Just mix it up a little bit. I always put at least 1 spruce fence up there, right at your starting point. You want it specifically at your starting point so that you don't get, because that just looks better and not like broken off. Then we're going to start placing. Now, if you're making a slim tree, try to keep this under 4 blocks for this one, I believe, or yeah, try to keep it down like this, really, really, really down, because you don't want it to be too high or too low. So now we just kind of go in here and sprinkle around. Now it's very important. Checkered patterns you would think aren't good, but sometimes they're good. And here's one of the examples. See, even though we have kind of a checkered pattern going on from the ground floor, it's already looking pretty good. Then we're going to go in and kind of break up the checkered pattern that we just made by adding in all of this around it and kind of just looping around, finishing off a few blocks here and there. Let's add in a block here. Yeah. See, and now we're starting to form that shape that's really, really what we're going for. Then we're going to take our birch leaves and we're going to go up 1 floor and do this all the way around. It's just going to be a short and simple, short and sweet. Just go around it and place a bunch. I would recommend from the bottom floor, try covering up all those holes, because yeah, don't cover them on the base floor, but cover them higher up as you go, because you'll see with these bigger trees, they definitely make a difference when you do that. Now, something else you need to do is underneath, you need to make sure to place a few blocks just to spread it out a little bit. Just to really, really sell the idea that this is a growing tree and not a just a Lego piece. Like, okay, you need that bottom piece. Trust me, it is very good to have it. So have like a little bit kind of pouring off the bottom, because trees aren't perfect. They never are. And going out this way, we're just gonna kind of make up our own little pattern here. I don't recommend doing this right here, where you go over your previous one, unless it's very occasional that you can do that and get away with it. You'll see what I mean. We're gonna leave that one there, and you'll probably see me break it. Or if I don't, it might be one of those occasional. But you see, like, it looks good, but it also will have that pull, and if it doesn't have that pull, then it just looks like this, and that's more of an oak thing, and it also just looks bad, so no. Then you want to place a block like that. Oh. And then we go like this. Boom, boom. Boom. And we start, like, branching it out, and now we're actually getting into the actual tree part of this. And you'll start to notice that this is taking more and more of a checkered pattern as we go. Occasionally those are good, but you don't want to make it the full tree, okay? I'm just speed running these because they're for examples. So they're not supposed to be 100%. They're supposed to look good from one angle, being this angle. But realistically, you would kind of, uniform it. Then you go up again. Now it is very, very important that you just make sure to leave some visible. So like here, some of it's visible, not too much, but not too little of the trunk, because in real life, you can see the trunk in it very, very well. And then if you go through here, we'll start to have this kind of fold up. So let's break out this piece. off this piece. See, they're gonna... It's all falling in place now. Starting to look good. See, and that's an example of one of those blocks that don't look good. You get rid of that. See, and it's starting to form. So now we're gonna shave it down a little bit because I don't like this, how it's like kind of leaning. I don't like that like lean that we have here. I did like that though, so that stays. Let's kind of leave it like this. Let's mix in some of those leaves in there. Yeah, okay. See, it's all just kind of a step back and look at it from afar to see if you like what you're doing. And then you go in here and we go up one, and we're actually, for this sake, going to shrink it. I end up doing this. I would recommend making the tree slightly taller than what you actually want, because you'll probably end up doing the same mistake I do, which is making the leaves too low or too high, and then screwing up and having to redo like the top part and shrink it a little bit. So, highly recommend not doing that. Okay, so then you kind of just dart around these here and there. For the sake of this, we'll do it like this. Yeah. See, now from this angle right here, this is pretty good, but that's kind of sticking out, so we're going to trim that, you know. And now it's just the trimming game of kind of hitting back some of the leaves to kind of get more of a uniform like that. And there we go. We have that tree. I mean, you know, obviously it's not perfect, but it is a pretty good looking tree for a little bit of work. And that is the small trees. They are all pretty much the same. If you're making a wider one, you would just widen out the bottom there. But now we're moving on to the medium-sized trees. These ones are a lot bigger and a lot more work goes into them, but they're essentially the small trees, just upscaled. So, yeah, let's get into it. So, to make a big tree, it's pretty simple. You do this, you go up like 3 or 4, you know. I would recommend 4. Then you place a few of acacia. Then place like 2 or 3 tough acacia. Some more of this acacia. Some more tough acacia. Now I'm doing that thing that I want to do, which is make this really tall up here so that it gives the illusion that I'm building this full-size thing, when in actuality it's probably just going to be the same size as that. So then we're actually going to do something new at the bottom of it. Since this is a big tree, this would fall over, you know, if it wasn't for that. So we're going to add in these little sump things here. You don't always have to do this specifically or whatever, but if you want it to look good, I would recommend figuring it out, you know, and kind of doing whatever looks best. But I like this. This just looks so nice. And I know that on some of the trees he has them where they do even do this, but those are larger trees. Those are like omega trees. So we are not going to do that. Now, going up this tree, we're actually going to use the trapdoors as branches like we did over there. So we're going to do one here, you know, real simple, like that. And then maybe one slightly higher that's like right here. See, with these ones, you'd never want to do anything over or under that. Under that is bad. That just instantly ruins the whole vibe of the tree. It just sucks. So now we're gonna go in and place in our pre-leafs on this one. This one we're actually going to need to pre-leaf it, which means we're going to have to go in and do this above a certain line and kind of make sure to thicken it up a little bit so that the actual leaf layer won't look horrible. So there is the pre-leafs. I think that is pretty good for the pre-leaves because this is a very big tree. So we're just going to go up with this and figure it out. So on this floor, we are just going to kind of do this, break a lot, place a lot, break a lot, you know. Rinse, repeat until we have a tree. Now, sometimes, I will say the first tree I've ever made, it took me 28 minutes. And that one was... Actually, this one right here. This is just a discovery I've made tonight. So, you know, I'll probably be better at it tomorrow and call my own video trash or something. You'll see in the comments tomorrow. So, we're just going to keep expanding like this. Hit it at this angle. Do another one here. Kind of fill in a little bit. As we don't want it to be too loose, but not too full. Because those vibes of trees are just horrible. So, you see, we're doing that kind of checkered pattern again, which is not a bad thing. It's not always a good thing, but it's not always a bad thing. Let's kind of round it off here, get it pointed a little bit. Break a few, place a few. You know, being absolutely kind of random here is a good thing. The more randomness, the better, I have found. So, we kind of have this, like, cut out of it right now, so we're just going to patch in a few of this area right here. Break out this and do that. So now we have a kind of a base to go from. It's not the best base, but it is not the worst. And remember, you would spend a lot more time on this, so you would actually make this look good, not square off. You want to go for more of a rounded, not a square. I'm just doing this as an example, so you guys can kind of understand. You're then going to go up like this and kind of semi-place around. It's good to have some of these on the lower layers, but avoid this on the top layer. You always want to have it in these 4 or 5 blocks right here. Yeah, always around this. But this is okay on the lower layers, on the bigger trees. See, and now we're going to go in. We're going to do what we do best and fill in those holes. Now, not all of the holes are going to be filled in, and we're not going to, like, overdo it or anything like that. We always stick to a few holes per platform. So, like, in this one, we're probably going to just cover up that one that I just did there. And then let's break some holes into this. And then we're going to expand it this way. And then, yeah, just overall, we're just gonna keep this up, and it will start looking a lot better. Like, this already, from ground level, is probably going to look better than most trees that I've done so far. Maybe, if I'm lucky. I found that, this is kind of like the best thing, and with some of these trees, like, on the lower platforms, like, look, this looks really bad from the lower platform, but because of the upper platforms, it pulls it together and actually makes it look good. So sometimes bad is good, but later on. And if it doesn't fix it, it's one of those things where if it just doesn't work out, you have to tear it down and restart. It's unfortunate, but that is what you're gonna have to do. Then you go up again. We're only gonna have 2 this time. And we're going to kind of cover up those holes made previously as to not have too many of them in our tree. But airy is good. Airy is very, very, very good. Trees are very airy and very open and very, very wonderful sometimes. Sometimes, if you're lucky. Then you come over here. Boom, boom. Start a few of these all around. And you'll start to see that we are forming a tree. And now I'm actually going to cut this part out because I don't like it. But I've designed enough of these to know that it won't work out in the future. I would recommend sticking to it until you know for a fact that it won't work. Like this right here, this angle, this normally wouldn't work. And I thought it wouldn't work. But from this angle, it's good. It's exactly what we're wanting. Now, this isn't going to be this wide tree here, but wide trees are just a lot more work to do, and they're just imagine just going out like this much more, and then there's your wide tree, and then they go a little bit higher. Like, that is all you have to do for a wide tree. And then you go up again. This time we're gonna do like a 3 thing going on here. What just happened there? I don't want to know. Okay, fill in the holes here. Are these spruce? No, these are birch. Well, then are these birch? Okay, these are birch. I was like, what? I was flipping out there. I had like a panic attack thinking I was flipping out of birch. See, all of these examples are probably going to be used eventually, or fixed up and used. Probably fixed up and used. But boom, boom, break, place. There's a lot of that going on. Okay, boom. And then, yeah, see? It all kind of fits. And then we're going to expand a little bit down here just so that we have, like, that closure. We're going to go up again. Kind of do this. Kind of break place. Okay, I'm going to go up one more time. This will be, like, the top layer of the tree. And then you can see where I'm starting to do the thing again. See, this is my issue with making these, is I make it too tall and then make the leaves too not fit, which is not always a good thing. It is sometimes, but not always. So we're just going to dart around some things and kind of slowly climb up this tree, but we don't want to make it too unison. See, we're going to break it up a little bit, and then we're going to start to unify this. So we're going to start using some more blocks and kind of climbing up this tree a little bit. Then we're going to switch to azalea. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 1. Okay, and then we're going to go. Yeah, now from ground floor, I don't like it. And that is because of this. So what we'll do is, boom, easy fix. See, you don't always have to stick to what you originally had. And that's what is the beauty of these trees, is that they're changeable. It's fixable. Everything is fixable. And see, just like that, we have another tree. Now this one is more pulling towards and then like reaching for it, which is kind of what we're going for. But I'm just going to break it up by doing a few more of these broken patterns up in here just to kind of pull away from that. And this tree would actually look best from right here rather than further back, which all of my designs are further back normally. But see, like further back you have like all these like loose blocks here and stuff like that. But overall, when mixing it in a forest, they look nice. And with that being said, that is all of the tree designs I have for today. If you guys did enjoy these trees, please stick around for more, because we will be doing more trees and more things overall. But yeah, as you can see, some of these trees that I didn't show off also just look so good. They're just so subtle, and the texturing, this is about the texturing you want to always go for, the ratio at least. I mean, they just, it just fits. Like, this alone, this shot looks so good, even though it's out in the open. It pulls it all together, and it looks good. With this tree design, you can bet it will look good. So thank you so much for tuning in. Try, if you want these things and schematics, just look in the description. I'm sure I uploaded them as a world or something, so, you know. Stay tuned for that, and thank you so much for watching.